Hello and welcome back to Inside the Click. I'm Monica,
I'm Michelle.
and we are your go-to resource for data-driven insights into the creator economy. In one of our last episodes, we talked about Flip and how it's this new-ish platform that's really focused only on social selling. It's different from Instagram and social media that it's less entertainment content or it's only social selling. Every post has something tied to it that you can purchase.
Yes. As this space evolves and as different platforms emerge, if you go back to intent behind using the different platforms, when you open up Instagram or you open up Facebook, you're not necessarily looking to buy something, right? Or TikTok. You just want to browse, be inspired, be entertained. Now, LTK, right? They're the big one in the industry that has a consumer facing app. The difference between the LTK app and Monica, I like how you phrased it in the Flip episode. I like how you talked about it. But the LTK app, when someone opens it, they are looking to shop. And even in e-commerce and the marketing industry in general, intent is such a big driver of getting people to do what you want them to do. In this case, purchase. It's going to be really hard to drag someone out of the Instagram app if they are not necessarily in a I want to buy something state. But someone that goes into an app where they have the expectation of, okay, I'm ready. I want to find some things I want to purchase. This is where now the social selling apps and experiences are capitalizing on that because you're going to open the app, and by social selling, it's really like you can add your friends from your contacts on it. It's basically like virtual reviews, which reviews, that's another separate thing. Reviews are so highly utilized anyway. I always look at reviews, and so it's combining both of those where you have video reviews in a more like peer to peer experience, but now influencers are getting in on that. And for example, Addison Ray
Oh, yeah.
is in it. There's not like a ton of people. Like she only has, it was between like 10 and 20,000 followers. So this is very new, but you can look under the hood and be like, what's this product like? What's going on here? But then going back to the intention, it is a high intent audience
Yeah.
that's using it.
And not only are people already coming into the app knowing that they're probably ready to shop, the way that they've built it. So as you're scrolling and engaging with people, in the right-hand corner is the amount of credit that you're earning. So as you're scrolling, you're just seeing it go from $20 and then all of a sudden you spent 5 minutes on it and now you have $40. And it's like, okay, now I suddenly have this magic money. Now I'm
Yes.
definitely gonna buy something.
Yes. It's so
Wild.
one thing with that, it's a little confusing because when I did my first purchase, which I'm still waiting on, and then I'm going to make a video, but Monica was from what you sent me, and I could use that up to 95% of the purchase.
Okay.
But the the weird thing is that even if you have all of those credits, you can only use it up to 30%.
Got it.
That's where
Okay.
it's like it's a 30% discount every time and you're racking up money. So for example, man, I cannot believe you went from 25 to $40 that short of time. I have
I know.
$15. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
engaging with it a lot, but I can only use that up to a 30% worth of my cart.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So
So it's a mental game that they're playing. They're tapping into girl math real hard.
I know. Because I'm like, oh, so that technically means I could buy like $45 worth of stuff and then I use the whole 15. But now for creators though, there's more incentive and I have to figure out how this works because it's something like There's like a $60 thing, $120 thing. Like, I don't fully know what that is, but I think it's if you're making videos and people are buying from it and you get like $60 worth of maybe commission or something, then you get a
Yeah.
free product.
And then that's also where it's like actual cash that you can like transfer to your bank account. Because if you go into your account, there'll be a bucket where it's like your store credit, so to speak, and then one that's like actual cash. But yeah, I think you have to create content to get into that cash category.
Yes. So one thing, and Monica, we talked about this briefly, but right now, if you go and you use Flip, it is all single brands. So for example, is it ELF or ELF?
I say elf, I have no idea.
Yeah, okay, that's what I say too. So ELF has been like a huge one for me, and that's actually I bought 3 ELF things because I could get the most like
Yeah.
bang for my
Yeah.
buck. But they have a ton of other like Hourglass, Anastasia. They have a bunch of brands. I did see Barney's skincare, right? Like Barney's New York, but
They do
it's
skincare?
just, yeah. Yeah, it was like
They
Barney's
still
skincare.
exist?
Trying.
I'm so confused. What?
Yeah, so
Why why would
because they were
skincare
the
be where
one,
they come back to life?
I think it was Barney's. Hold on. Let me just,
I thought they were just goners.
mm, well, so while I'm looking this up, oh boy, there are no multi-brand. Yeah, Barney's New York Beauty.
What?
They have 121,000
You're
views.
right.
That's
Whoa, they sell it at Saks.
they sell it. Okay. So this is what's interesting is right now when I look at the brands that are in here, because I scrolled through a lot of them last night, it seems like it's all of these. You don't see a Nordstrom on here, right? It's all of these single brands. And there are some brands that are missing. I wish Drunk Elephant was on here because I use
Oh,
basically
yeah.
all of their stuff. And Fenty Beauty, right? Like I love them. They're not on here, but I think that if like these multi-brand retailers were to get on here, it would expand the catalog. But then
Yeah.
how would, if there is a Drunk Elephant, if drunkelephant.com is on it, but then Sephora gets on it and they sell Drunk Elephant, where is it coming from when you add it to cart? Because when these items are delivered, they are from Flip. Flip has some sort of inventory or direct
Yeah,
like line to these brands where it's like that's the one that's shipping from you.
right.
Something that's kind of annoying is
It
delivery
does.
time
Yeah.
is a bit longer.
At least they do free returns. That was gonna be like a very big question mark for me.
Yes.
But no, to your point, yeah. I would think that if they ever did that, it would just have to be kind of like it is for an influencer creating links where you have the product catalog and then you're just like, oh, most of my audience shops Sephora anyway, so I'm going to choose the Sephora one. You know,
Oh, it's
like
on
where
the
it's like on the influencer
influencer.
to decide which store.
Or would they let the customer choose?
Oh, that's true. Like those websites like List where like you'll go to the product and then it says you can shop it at Bloomingdale's, Saks, or Neiman's. Yeah, that makes sense too. And
So
then
it could, right.
yeah, huh.
It will be interesting to see how this evolves. So Monica and I did look it up, and the general manager came from TikTok live streaming. Was it live shopping?
Live shopping and marketplace.
Yep. And he has not been there very long, like 8 or 9 months. So I feel like they have a very strong person at the helm because, and I haven't looked too much into this yet, but they have, oh, okay. If you go, oh, wait. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. If you go into the shop magnifying glass and you go in the looking for at the top, and there is something that's called lives.
Oh,
Now, when you click on it, it says, oops, we don't have anything to show you here yet. Please come back later. They are going to be
it's
doing
coming.
something with live shopping, which is like all the rage right now.
Yeah.
But I think this is super smart. You have this highly invested audience, there's a ton of incentives, and they're going to be doing live shopping.
Yeah. It'll be really interesting. And I think there's so much to it where it's a destination to shop. It's like turning on QVC or turning on HSN instead of just turning on NBC and then you get one infomercial. Like it's very different. It's crazy how in so many ways all of this seems so brand new, but it's really not at the same time. I guess it is for Gen Z who never turned on NBC and then had to sit through a 2-minute infomercial on like duct
Yeah.
tape. But
Or the thing where the guy like slaps the thing on like the
like a
water coming
boat,
up.
like at one point it's like a boat and he just like
Oh my gosh. Oh, one other thing that I was just thinking about too. We shared in one of our TLDRs, like there was a podcast episode of basically, it was like one of the Wall Street Journal ones saying how like Amazon is imitating TikTok and TikTok is imitating Amazon. And they're like, Amazon is trying to do some more basically like flip content where it's like people are reviewing and shopping. And then TikTok, we know, is adding their own marketplace. But I do think that there is a common issue with both of those. And it's much more predominant in TikTok, where it's just like a load of crap. Like, don't know if the products are good. Amazon has been known to have some dupes out there, even if it says it's from
yeah,
wherever, like you don't fully know. This, there's no spammy stuff on here. It's only legit
it's brand
products.
new.
And
Yeah,
so, because it's like, why would I use this instead of those things? And that's a huge reason why. On top of that, you have the opportunity to get in on more of the ground level because there aren't a
exactly.
lot of influencers on here yet.
Exactly. Another thing I really like that they're doing is they're showing the return rate on an
Yes.
item. So if you click on the product from someone's video, it'll tell you the percentage of returns on that product, which I think is incredible. Imagine if every influencer link recommendation came with that information, because I think so many times a creator will say, so many of y'all purchased this, and then that makes more people want to buy it because it was such a big hit. And this is all coming from a genuine place. I'm not saying they're doing it to like trick people into buying more, but how interesting would it be if you're on the fence and you see that there's 100% keep rate, or there's a 50% return rate? I feel like that also gets you to convert so much faster. If you see it at a 95 to 100% keep rate, you'd be like, oh, now this is a no-brainer.
Yes. So in browsing through some things, I'm seeing that if the keep rate is like 93 or 94% or higher, that's generally pretty good.
Yeah.
That's like even the standard. But I did see something with, it was like maybe in the high 70s or in the 80s for the keep rate. And I was like, oh, that one's not
Yeah.
super kept.
I'd be curious too if eventually their algorithm does something with that return rate information where videos get boosted if they have a higher keep rate. Wouldn't that be interesting? Because
Yeah.
then it's one more metric to make sure you're pushing the best content or the
It's
best
that,
product.
but then you always have the classic problem of when new products come in and then how do you weave that
Oh, that's
in?
true. You're right.
Like
You're right.
they could just put some modifier on
Yeah.
products that are like 30 days or less old or
They still get the
whatever.
normal treatment. Yeah. Good point.
So here's the thing though. And actually last night when I was browsing through, I saw the first negative review where this girl like bought these like pore strips for her nose. She was like, these aren't good. Like they come off, and she like recorded a video. But I'm kind of like, what is the incentive to record a bad video?
Because she's still, well, this is why I think Flip is good compared to the others when it comes to this, because she's still getting credit for people engaging with her content and for liking her content. Even if they're not purchasing, she's still getting something out of it versus a creator who is sharing links on Instagram. And if they quote unquote de-influence something, they get absolutely nothing monetary out of sharing that link because no one's going to buy it, right? They get the like, no, trust, that whole thing. But if we're talking about just like monetary incentives, on Flip, even if you post a negative review, as long as people like it and engage with it, you're still getting part of the puzzle when it comes to your earnings.
Got
Because
it.
it's engagement plus like sales.
I think that this could be huge.
Yeah. And I
Like,
think it plays into the de-influencing thing if they are truly motivating people to be honest and giving them an incentive to be honest, even though on its surface it's a consumption app to buy, it's also hitting the you don't have to buy piece. It's like
yes,
really doing both.
the one drawback is loyalty programs are
Yeah.
not hooked in. That is like the only thing that I'm just like,
I
I
know,
really, yeah.
but if you think about it, if you're a Sephora shopper, Sephora's loyalty program is already garbage.
Oh,
And
we talked about this, yeah.
and the 30% off you get is more than the highest discount you would get during a Sephora sale.
Yeah. 30% off, that's like a third.
Because the highest you can get off during Sephora sale for non-Sephora brand products, I think, is 20% Rouge.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's so true. Because that's the whole
And then
reason why you
you're getting
use
it year round. You don't have to
it.
wait for Sephora sale to get
Right.
that percentage off, and you're getting more. So it's like that kind of is a loyalty program in of itself.
That's so true. It will be interesting though to see how they do evolve.
Yeah.
And also, if this is widely adopted, are multi-brand retailers, would they be in trouble a little bit?
They'd be at a disadvantage because their biggest thing is you can add everything to that one cart. And Flip lets you add everything to your cart. Well, I guess where they'll always have is the fast shipping.
Until Flip
Flip
like
figures
gets,
out shipping. There's always going to be
yeah, actually, let's look quickly and see. Oh my gosh, this app
or
like automatically starts my orders. Yeah, so I purchased this on Halloween, and today is November 2nd. It is still preparing, which after this, it's ready to ship, then flip box ship, then flip order delivered.
yeah. And with Sephora, Ulta, Nordstrom, everyone else, you can even do same day pickup if you really needed it. I've been doing in-store pickup for so much lately because my packages keep getting lost. I'm like 0 for 3 on Sephora packages actually showing up at my door. And same with Revolve. Yeah, it's like a 50% does it actually show up to my door with Revolve. So I'm just trying to do pickup as often as I can.
Wow.
Amazon is like an 100% rate. Amazon's been able to figure out where I live. But everyone else, whether it's USPS, UPS, well, UPS is a zero. UPS has never found my house. FedEx is pretty reliable. DHL is one of the better ones because the
Right.
courier texts you if something's DHL. I'm like, great, sign me up. But sometimes USPS, they'll say they attempted to deliver it and that the address doesn't exist. And so then they take it to the post office and I have to go to the post office.
Oh my God.
In a really weird part of Dallas in Fair Park where the state fair is. And there's nothing else other than like where the state fair is 99% of the year.
You know what? I do that too. If they do have a buy now, then you can pick up
Mhm.
option. I like to do that because I do think if it's not Amazon or maybe like Target, I have paid sometimes for expedited 1 to 2 day shipping, but there's a caveat where it's like once the carrier gets it, it's 1 to 2
Exactly.
days, but they take like 5 days to actually put the package together and give it to the carrier. So
Exactly.
it's like some of those shipping things with the single brands are still weird.
Yeah, it's maddening sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you keep refreshing and you're like, okay, why did I just pay $15 for this expedited
exactly.
shipping? Yeah.
Exactly. The other thing that gets me is how FedEx scans their packages as delivered before they deliver them. And so if you get the notification, it says delivered, and then you contact them, and they're like, oh, they can do that up to 24 hours before it actually gets delivered. And so then I'm like, so then you're just not tracking my package at this point. Because
Yeah.
between you saying it's delivered and there being 24 hours, this is why the package is getting lost. It's like, how does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. So it will be interesting to see what Flip ends up doing.
Yeah, I hopefully they have a good logistics department.
Yeah.
I
Or
feel
at least
that's
like
a huge portion of
starting.
making sure this works is making sure they have a good logistics team.
Yes. It's like those behind the scenes. It's the things that you only notice when they're bad, but
Yeah.
you don't notice when they're good.
Yeah.
That is what needs to be super solid. And the only reason why, so I worked for an ad agency that when we did a pitch for an internet and cable provider, that was like the big insight is that people only think about their internet when it's not working.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so true. But that's also true about shipping,
It's so true. Yeah. Shipping and internet, that's
right?
or in appliances. You don't think about your dishwasher other than using it until your dishwasher breaks or like something like that. Like
Yeah,
your
like
oven.
utilities,
Yeah.
all of just the things that need to work to make your life smooth.
Exactly.
So, Flip, be interesting to see how you evolve. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that next week I'll get the package and I can make a video.
Yeah. If it takes longer than next week, then that's concerning.
That's just, I'll just be like, okay, what am I going to need in the future? And I'll just buy it now.
Especially because you can't create content until you buy the product. So you're at a standstill, which could hurt adoption because momentum is so important when it comes to someone new joining a platform to then use those links for be an active person. If that person decides, okay, I'm going to sign up, I'm going to do content, but then they can't do that for 20 days. If they don't do it in 30 days, they're probably never going to create content on that platform. So that is one thing that kind of does need to get figured out, I think.
I think that for their outreach, they could always proactively send content to people
Yeah.
and set it up, right? And then they basically just need to scan a QR code and everything's in for the products that they've sent them.
Yeah.
And so then technically they could start. It's interesting. It's the same experience for creators and shoppers. And
Yeah.
that's like rarely the case.
So true.
Because if you're a shopper using it, that doesn't really matter to you. But if you're a
Exactly.
creator, that's really important. When they're courting people, they can just like proactively send packages and be like, now you can use it.
Yep. That's
And they could have influencers send a package proactively to their friends. So then they wouldn't necessarily like to their friend influencers, like the referral
yeah.
program, because then it's not like they're downloading the app and they're exploring and they can't do it and they feel like they're missing out. It's like that package would prompt them to open the app.
Yeah, that's true. Another thing I think they could do is like for your first 3 videos, while you're waiting for your product to arrive, you could upload a receipt that shows that you purchased an item. So you just upload your like Sephora receipt or whatever that has the item that you're going to talk about on it. They can use AI to just scan that receipt and make sure like,
I like that.
matches, right? And then like you get to do 3 videos that way. And then by then you've already started to use it, decide if you enjoy it or not. And then that just like increases tremendously the chance of someone sticking around. It'll be interesting to see.
So that was our deep dive on Flip. We're probably going to be talking about this more since this was literally the second time that we've talked about it in a few weeks. So if you have any questions, shoot us a DM. You can email us at hello@insidetheclick.com and get to, what's it called? Social commerce, social selling. Yeah, they're
Yep.
really valuable.
All right. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, rate, and review. All of that helps us so much in growth and making sure that we can get you the latest when it comes to the creator economy.
Thanks, everyone.